Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. It is Flower It Up Friday, and you know what that means. I'm bringing you along on a Flower It Up project. Actually, I'm doing two projects today, and I thought I would just bring you along for both of them. Why not? So, let's get ready to flower it up. I have my coconut flakes here. That's going to be for one of the projects. I have condensed milk. I have some brown sugar. I have 2 eggs. I have some sour cream. I have a yellow box cake mix. I have 3 eggs back there, some cinnamon, a measuring cup, some oil, and my salt, and of course the vanilla. So what I'm making today, I actually haven't made it before, either one of them. So this is going to be new to me. So I'm going to make coconut macaroons, and then with my yellow box cake, I'm going to try the honey bun cake. So I'm going to do the coconut macaroons first because they have excess of yolks. So I want to put that in the honey bun cake. So here is my coconut flakes, and I'm adding in there vanilla. And then I'm going to add the next ingredient, which is the condensed milk. Now I'm using a whole can of condensed milk to 14 ounces of coconut flakes. And that's pretty much it for this portion of the coconut macaroons. This recipe actually is quite easy, and that's why I went for it. I thought it was hard to make these, so I've never made them before. So I'm just going to combine these 3 ingredients really well and making sure that all the coconut flakes are covered with the condensed milk because that's the sweetener. Okay, so the next step is to separate my egg whites from the yolks, and this recipe only calls for egg whites. So I need 2 eggs, so I'm going to separate the other one and get them beating. Okay, so I have my egg whites in the stand mixer. I'm going to add my salt, and I'm going to get those mixed up. I'm going to... that took all of 5 seconds, 10 seconds maybe. So what I'm going to do is I have got all my condensed milk incorporated into the coconut, and I'm just going to add my egg whites in. Okay, so I have my egg whites all incorporated. I have my medium-sized scoop, and I'm just going to scoop them, try to do this one-handed, onto the cookie sheet. Yeah, you didn't see that. Let's try that again. Okay. Got it in the scoop and onto the cookie sheet. I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. This is not working out. So here they are all on the cookie sheet, and I did have some maraschino cherries that I put on some of them. So I'm going to put them into a 325 degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes until they're like sort of golden brown on the top. Okay, so now on to the flour it up part of this video. I have my 4 eggs in here. It's a double, it's not a double yolk. The 2 yolks that I had left over from the coconut macaroons, I put in here as 1 egg. So that makes up my 4 eggs. I have my box cake mix. I can't even think this evening. My sour cream, my oil, my vanilla, and I'm just gonna put everything in my stand mixer. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I have everything in the bowl, my eggs, my oil, and the sour cream, and I'm gonna mix this together before I add in the cake mix. Okay, so I've got that all mixed together, and now I'm just gonna add in my cake mix here. I have a package of yellow cake mix in, and I'm gonna get this incorporated, taking precautions not to overmix. Okay, so I've got it mixed together, and I'm just going to scrape down the sides of the bowl, make sure everything is incorporated nicely. Sorry about the lighting, guys. It is dark here. I have the light on, but as you can see, there's shadows and everything else. Craziness going on. So, yeah. Okay, so I've scraped my bowl. I've got my cake mix all ready to go. I have my pan here, greased and floured. And then I have the filling here. It's a cup of brown sugar and the cinnamon, and I'm just gonna mix that together. Okay, so in my pan, in the bottom of my pan, I put about half of the cake mix, and I've got the other half here. And then I'm going to sprinkle the cinnamon sugar over the top of this. Just sprinkle it over. And then I'm going to put the rest of the cake mix on top. Okay, so I've got the rest of the cake mix on top, and I'm just going to take my spatula and smooth it out as best as I can. Get it all smoothed out. Okay, so I did reserve a little bit of that cinnamon sugar for the top. And this pan is actually a little smaller than a 9 by 13. It's like a 8 by 12 or something like that. 8.5 by 12. And I'm gonna take there's my oven ready. I'm gonna take my spoon and just swirl it in. Like that. Swirling, making sure I'm getting all the way through the layers. And I guess you could take a butter knife. They took a butter knife. That would probably be better. I'm gonna do a butter knife. Okay, so I just took a knife and swirled it in as best as I could. And into my oven it goes. Okay, so here is the honey bun cake out of the oven. It smells delicious. I'm gonna let it cool a little bit before I make the icing, which is just icing sugar, milk, and vanilla. Before I ice it and let it cool completely before I cut into it. And that's gonna be the chore, waiting till it cools before we taste it. So here's the coconut macaroons, and I did try one. They're fairly good. I'm not really a coconut person, but they taste pretty good. And they were baked or browned, whatever, a lot sooner than the recipe said they would be. So double check your oven. Mine runs hot, and yeah, it was baked a lot faster than the recipe said. So they are a little dark, but they're okay. Okay, so here is my honey bun cake. It is still a little bit warm. It's cooling for about an hour, but it is still warm. I'm going to make the glaze to go on top. I don't know if you can see this, but I did poke some holes, took a toothpick and poked some holes all over. We'll see how that goes. So I've got about 1.5 cups of icing sugar, confectioner sugar. I'm gonna add a splash of vanilla, and then a little bit of milk, just a little bit to start with, and then see how that goes. And if I need more, which I'm sure I'm going to, looking at this, put another little splash in there and get it to the consistency I would like. Okay, I've got it to the consistency I like, and it's quite runny. It's a glaze. I want to try and get it into those holes there. We'll see how that goes, but I'm just going to drizzle it on. And we'll see how this goes. I don't think there's any right or wrong way to do this. That's just me. And then I'm just gonna get a spatula and smooth it out. So I'm just gonna make sure it all gets some glaze on it. And then I'm gonna let it cool the rest of the way before I cut into it. So I've been fighting off the masses from this cake. It smells so good. So it's cool completely. It's actually the next day. And I cut this piece for my friend, and I'm going to put that to the side for her. So this is my piece. I know I don't need a whole pile of cake. So I'm going to try this and see. I've never had a honey bun before, so I don't really have a reference. But I do know good cake when I taste it. So we're going to try this and see how it is. I will say it is quite moist. I don't know if that's from the glaze or not, or just from like the sour cream and the oil. But it is delicious, and I will definitely be making this again. Now, if this is what honey bun tastes like, maybe I should try a honey bun. So I guess my YouTube surfing paid off. I was looking for a new recipe, and I came across honey bun cake. The first one I saw was posted about 4 years ago, and this is definitely a win. Something I will make again. So flour it up. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And click that notification bell to be notified when I upload videos. God bless. And remember, stay safe and keep prepping.